It's 6:12 a.m., and Maya is loading string trimmers into a dented trailer while her crew waits beside a cooler already sweating through the plastic. The forecast says 96 by lunch. The job says finish the apartment courtyard today. The payroll account says there is not much room for delays. That is the founder's squeeze. Keep people safe, keep promises, and keep cash moving when summer turns a normal schedule into a hazard. OSHA published its proposed heat injury and illness prevention rule in the Federal Register on August 30 for 2024. The rule is not final yet, but the signal is loud enough that a small employer should not treat heat as common sense anymore. Pause. Because common sense is hard to prove after someone collapses, an inspector calls, or a customer asks why the crew disappeared at noon. The proposed standard would apply to outdoor and indoor work in general industry, construction, maritime, and agriculture, where OSHA has jurisdiction. So Maya's question is not, what will the final rule say? It is, what plan would I wish I had written yesterday? Start with one page. Not a binder. One page that names water, rest, shade, acclimatization, supervisor authority, emergency steps, and the daily log. Maya has 8 people, 2 trucks, and 1 office desk wedged between pesticide shelves and a coffee maker that never fully shuts off. OSHA says the proposed standard would require employers to create a plan to evaluate and control heat hazards in the workplace. For a small crew, evaluation can start with one habit. Check the heat index before dispatch, then decide what changes before wheels roll. OSHA's heat guidance centers the basics. Employers should provide cool drinking water, rest breaks, and shade or cooling when heat risk rises. Maya buys 5-gallon water jugs, cups, and ice the night before. The rule inside her company becomes simple. Water is work equipment. Rest is harder, because rest feels like lost billable time. But heat breaks may protect the whole day from a medical emergency. Her crew picks shade before starting, not after panic, under a tree, beside a porch, or in the truck with air moving. The National Safety Council, using federal labor data, reports 48 work-related heat deaths in 2024 and 7,100 DART cases across 2023 and 2024. A DART case means days away, restricted duty, or transfer. In a 6-person shop, that is not paperwork. That is the schedule cracking. The next weak spot is acclimatization. New workers and returning workers often need a slower ramp, even when they look strong. OSHA warns excessive workplace heat can cause serious health effects, including heat stroke and death, if workers are not treated quickly. One approach is a first-week ramp, lighter tasks, more check-ins, and no solo work during the hottest stretch of the shift. Maya remembers Eli, her newest hire, trying to prove himself by carrying sod rolls faster than everyone else on his second hot day. That is where culture matters. If speed earns praise and stopping earns side-eye, your heat plan is already losing. Give supervisors authority in writing, slow the pace, rotate tasks, move break times, or stop work without waiting for the owner's blessing. OSHA's heat rulemaking moved through public hearing in 2025, and the post-hearing comment period officially ended October 30, 2025, according to OSHA. That timing matters. The government has not stepped away from heat. It is building the record for what reasonable prevention looks like. Documentation does not need fancy software. It needs consistency. If it is not written down, it may not help you later. Create a daily heat line in the job log, conditions checked, water loaded, cooling location chosen, crew briefed, changes made. This is also a finance issue. Missed work, urgent care, overtime makeup, and damaged morale all land in the owner's lap. Your numbers will vary, so consider asking your accountant how injuries, overtime, and schedule slips show up in your margins. Then schedule like heat is real, heavier work earlier, delivery windows shifted, indoor prep moved to the hottest hours where possible. If you run a food truck, the grill line is a heat exposure zone, not just a busy lunch setup for workers. That may mean rotating the cashier, staging extra water, and letting one person cool down before symptoms force a full shutdown. If you manage a warehouse, do not ignore indoor heat. Loading docks, mezzanines, and metal roofs can turn August into a trap. A low-cost cooling station can be a fan, chairs, water, and a shaded corner away from forklifts and hot equipment. Task rotation matters when the work itself creates heat. lifting, digging, roof loading, dishwashing, asphalt, nursery work, and delivery routes. Pair workers when conditions spike. The buddy system may sound old school, but it helps people catch confusion before pride hides it. OSHA says employers should provide cool water for workers to drink because proper hydration is essential to preventing heat-related illness. Water is the baseline. Electrolytes may help in heavy sweating situations, but consider medical needs, medications, and your industry's safety rules. Train symptoms out loud: dizziness, nausea, cramps, headache, confusion, heavy sweating, or suddenly not sweating. People remember what they rehearse. Softly, the dangerous moment is when a worker thinks, "I just need to push through 10 more minutes." That sentence can change everything. Maya changes the morning huddle. Before tools leave the trailer, every crew member says where water is and where cooling happens. Emergency response should be boringly clear: who calls for help, who moves the worker, who meets responders, and who documents what happened. Consider a simple ride rule. If someone shows heat illness symptoms, they do not drive themselves back to the shop alone. On a farm, the same plan may look different: field shade, staggered picking, tractor cab checks, and extra attention for seasonal workers. With piece rate work, be careful. Pay structures can nudge people to skip breaks even when the owner never says those words. One fix is to state plainly: paid cooling breaks count as part of the job, and nobody loses status for using them. Delivery businesses face a different rhythm. Heat builds in parked vehicles, warehouse bays, and sidewalks while customers still expect normal timing. Route changes may help: earlier starts, fewer backtracking miles, shaded pickup points, and permission to pause when the heat index jumps. If customers push back, explain the operating standard before the emergency. Most reasonable clients prefer a delayed job over an ambulance. Contracts can carry this too. Add weather and heat language to estimates, especially for outdoor labor booked weeks ahead in summer. You are not promising perfection. You are setting expectations that safety conditions may change timing, staffing, and scope on hot days. That small clause may protect relationships because the client hears the boundary before crews are sweating in their driveway at midday. OSHA says the proposed heat standard would cover indoor and outdoor work across general industry, construction, maritime, and agriculture, where OSHA has jurisdiction. So this is not only a construction story. It is restaurant kitchens, laundries, small manufacturers, garden centers, farms, and last-mile delivery. The good news: the first version of a heat plan can be cheap. The expensive part is pretending you do not need one. Shopping list: water containers, disposable cups, shade options, a thermometer or weather app, a first aid refresh, and paid time for training. Do not let the log become theater. Write only what someone would actually use after a scare, inspection, or schedule dispute. Maya keeps it taped inside the trailer door, in a plastic sleeve, beside the fuel card and spare trimmer line. Every Monday she runs a 10-minute heat huddle: forecast, job sequence, new workers, cooling spots, and who can stop the work. Something shifts. The crew stops treating breaks like weakness. They start treating them like sharpening blades or checking tire pressure before a route. Size: the owner fear is real though. If we slow down, will we miss revenue? Will customers leave? Will payroll get tighter? Maybe. Results vary. But many businesses find that planned slowdowns be unplanned chaos, especially when one incident can derail a week. National Safety Council data shows heat exposure remains a workplace safety issue, with thousands of serious cases involving days away or restricted duty. Track 3 numbers: weekly, heat delays, overtime caused by heat, and any symptom reports. Patterns will tell you where the plan needs work. After the first hot month, ask the crew what failed. Not what looked good on paper, what failed in the field. That feedback may reveal the cheapest fix: a second cooler, a different start time, or moving the hardest task before lunch. If this episode helps, like it, subscribe if it earns its keep, and share it with another owner before the next heat wave. Plainly, not financial advice. This content is for educational and informational purposes only and does not constitute financial advice. Always consult with a qualified financial advisor or business consultant before making significant financial decisions. For legal compliance, consider talking with a qualified safety consultant or employment attorney, especially if your state already has heat rules. Maya's summer does not become easy. The jobs are still hot, clients still call, and payroll still lands every other Friday. Firmly, but now Heat has a process, not a hope, not a shrug. A process her crew can see, use, and trust. Build the plan before the fine, before the injury, before the panic. Summer's coming either way. Make your business ready.